Hello, everybody. We are going to get started with How to Afford Everything 101, Class 1, in just a few minutes. I am recording it live because, frankly, that's how my schedule worked out today. In future weeks, we'll see if we're able to actually record it in advance so that way folks can join us on their leisure. But the good news is this will be posted to my story. And so if you can't attend How to Afford Everything 101 live, don't worry. You'll be able to watch other sessions as they happen. We'll get started in just a minute. Once again, this is Class 1 of How to Afford Everything 101. I am Professor Darla Bishop. You can also call me Dr. Bishop. Doctor or professor is appropriate. Anything other than that, we're going to have a problem. So I am currently sitting in Lansing, Michigan, because I am a professor at university where I teach classes in public health. But today we are talking about money, my favorite thing in the world to discuss. If you've been following, whether you just started this week or for a while, you might know that I am on social media, including TikTok, as My Finances, because I love talking about money and I am like the big sis who will help you get your money together. So today in Class 1, we're going to do all the things you would do in the first class of a semester. We're going to do some introductions. I'm going to walk you through the syllabus and the plan, and then we'll talk about the first assignment for the week and how this class will be structured. So if you're just joining into the live, once again, I am Dr. Darla Bishop, and I will be leading this free course here on TikTok every Friday. The time might move around, but don't worry, I will always pin the class sessions to my story so that you can watch them. And I believe I have the ability to make playlists so you can look through them there. I am still learning all of the TikTok tools. To be fully transparent with you, I am more familiar with Instagram and YouTube. And so we might go through a few introductions, a few changes as we go, but don't worry, the class is going to be well worth your time. And every session, whether you join in order or watch them at your leisure, they will be helpful to you. Okay, so if you didn't catch it, my name is Dr. Darla Bishop, and I am the author of How to Afford Everything, the book that carries the same name as this course. I wrote this book back in 2023 because after reading more than 100 on my own journey to financial wellness, I thought it shouldn't take someone more than 100 books. And so I wrote this book to hopefully help you save some years and tears. Thanks to Hillman Talk University, I decided to offer a class version of this here on TikTok. And so we'll get right into it. So let's talk about what this class is and what this class isn't. So How to Afford Everything 101 will walk you through the way that I teach folks about money. And basically what that means is that we're going to work on your mindset. And then every week you will have practical activities. Works better if you use your real situation so that as you're practicing these skills, because money management is absolutely a skill that can be learned, that can be improved, that can grow. As we're learning about the skills, you're actually practicing them in your real life so that you can see your financial situation get better. You might be asking, well, who the hell are you and why do you think you can teach me how to afford everything? What do you mean by everything? I want to be clear about that. When I've worked with people as a one-on-one coach or in workshops or in group settings, one of the main things that people, when they are feeling just so down about their money, talk about is like, what is your goal? And they're like, I just want to be able to do everything I want to do. I just want to be able to do everything I need to do. I want to be able to pay the bills. I want to be able to take care of the kids. I want to be able to have fun with my friends every once in a while. Like, I just want to do everything. And so for me, that is what How to Afford Everything is about. It's about defining what in your life is the most important and then building your budget and your plan, because that's all a budget is. A budget is a plan for your money around the things that are most important and including a little bit of joy and ease at every step in the way. So our syllabus, we're going to do this for 8 to 10 weeks, depending on how the last couple sessions go. And if people think we need to dive deeper into one of those topics, we are actually going to follow the chapters of the book as our weekly sessions. So if you happen to have the book, you'll see that chapter 1, we're going to start with real money talk. So week 2, we'll go over You Got Money for That, which is about spending. Week 3, we'll talk about debt in the chapter called in the chapter called Other People's Money. In week 4, we will talk about savings with Umbrella, that happens every single time. And in week 5, we'll talk about taxes. Sam is whose uncle, right? And we'll talk in week 6 about money, making money. In week 7, we'll talk about generosity and its role in your life, even as you're working to get your finances in order. And then after that, we'll do a combination of chapters 8 through 10, which are minding the business that pays you, Look at You Adulting, and one last thing where we'll wrap up the course and make sure that you are well on your way to financial wellness. So let's jump in. As we talk about how to afford everything and real money talk, really the very first and most important thing to do is, do you know? And I want you to be honest with yourself. You ain't even got to tell me, but do you know how much it really costs you to live your life? Not how much you think it costs you, not how much you want it to cost you, not how much you wish it cost you, but do you know how much it really costs you to live your life? And not just your sad life, the life where you're just making it, but like your best life. Like, what kind of money would it take for you to have the week or the month or I'm a business owner, so I think about quarters, or the quarters where things that just went smoothly, right? Like you were able to meet all of your obligations. You paid all your bills. You fit in a little bit of fun. You did some cool things with the family. You got to spend time and do something exciting with friends or other loved ones. Something came up, maybe unexpected or an emergency, but you were able to handle it or at least get to a solution pretty quickly. How much does it cost you to really live your life? And that's where the magic number comes in. That's why the assignment for this week is for you to calculate the magic number. If you don't have the assignment, you can get the magic number spreadsheet by either registering for this class at darlabishop.com/101 or by going to the How to Afford Everything Resource Center, which is at howtoaffordeverything.com/resources. And it is available for free download. You are not required to register for this course. Doing so just makes it easier for you to get email reminders about when the weekly assignments are posted for free download. So let's get into the magic number. What exactly is the magic number? The magic number is exactly that. It's the magical space where it's the amount of money that's coming into your house, coming into your wallet, coming into your bank account is at least matching or above what it costs you to live. So your homework for this week is to go through your bank statements, your credit card statements, your loan statements, your Venmo feed, your Cash App, any place where money would have been coming in and out of your life, and look at how that money moved over the last 90 days. Now, we're in January and we're almost in February. So what that means is you're probably going back to November, December, and January. So you're going to look at November, December, and January and see where your money went. Now, many of us around the world celebrated some major holidays, especially if you're based in the US. You celebrated Thanksgiving, you celebrated Christmas. You may have also done something for New Year, maybe even for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so your financial situation and the way that money moves might be atypical or different than what it might look like if we were looking at only February, March, April, but that's okay. All the information is valuable. Now, when you do this, there are two things you are going to do and there are two things you are not going to do. So what we not going to do, when you go and you pull these bank statements and you pull, there are two things you are going to do and there are two things you are not going to do. So what we not going to do, when you go, I'm back. It turns out that I pushed the wrong button and I've disappeared, but I came back and it looks like some of you came back. It's okay. We'll work it out. My apologies. That is what happens when you're an expert in one thing and you try new stuff. It's all right. So we were talking about when we put together the magic number. So again, there are two things we're going to do and there are two things we not going to do. What we not gonna do when we go through our bank statements and when we go through our credit card statements and our Venmo feed and our Cash App feed, we not gonna judge ourselves, right? Like, you are probably way harder on yourself than you need to be. And that's not the point. The point of us looking at where your money went is not to make you feel bad. It does not serve you to feel bad when you're trying to do something good or better or different. And so instead, I want you to think of your favorite detective show. What's your favorite detective show? It might be NCIS. It might be Law and Order. It might be something else. I want you to be your favorite detective, and you are simply gathering information about where your money went, where it came from, where you thought it should have gone, right? Like, that is what's happening. You're not going to be over here judging yourself because it does not serve you to feel bad. The other thing you're not going to do is you're not going to be like, oh, well, it's because it was different. Let me tell you, the main reason that people's money is not together is not because they are irresponsible. It's because they don't recognize that things are coming up, because they don't come up every single month. They don't come up every single week. And so it feels like a once in a while thing. But it turns out once in a while is every month a few people have birthdays and you want to go celebrate with them. Okay, pay attention to that. Every once in a while, but it turns out it's a few times every couple months, the kids have friends who have birthday parties, so you want to take a gift to the party. Great, put that in. Well, every once in a while, we like to go out and have a good time. Fine, put that in. Because of the two things you are going to do is you're going to use your calendar as your secret weapon. Because if you know what is coming up in your life, you can make a plan for it. Or if it's something that is just outside of your reach, you can't really afford to do that thing. You don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, because that matters too. If you know that in advance, you can very politely and graciously let the host know, hey, thank you so much for inviting us. We can't make it. You don't always have to give a reason. And if the reason is we don't have the money, we can't bring a gift, you can just say, we can't make it. Thank you so much for inviting us. Please think of us next time, because hopefully we'll be able to make it next time. Okay, great. Got it. Good. So we spent all this time talking about the magic number. That's because that's where the magic lies. If you can figure out how much it really costs you to live your life, not how much you wish it cost you, not how much you think it should cost you, not how much it would cost you if only this would happen. No, put everything that makes your life run in. So if you need to order takeout, put that in the magic number calculation. If you know that you have a car that needs repairs or that might need to be replaced at some point, put some money in the budget for that. If you're working on debt, put those debt payments in the magic number. So that way, when you make the plan for your money, it can be accurate. If you haven't gone to get the magic number worksheet that walks you through the process of how to create your magic number, you can get that as a free download from darlabishop.com/101 or howtoaffordeverything.com/resources. Okay, we talked about magic number so much. I also have a video in my story where I'm talking to Mark Yagi on the Wealth Architect podcast, where I walk you through how to do the magic number too. So if you are more of a visual and auditory learner, you can watch and listen to that podcast. If you need the actual worksheet so that you can print it out or do it on your phone, that is available in the Resource Center or at darlabishop.com/101. All right, so I want to tell you a story to help you see how this magic number piece can make a difference. So many years ago, I was working with someone, and we'll call her Mika. And Mika had a great job. She's a single mom, but her parents were helping quite a bit with childcare and pickups and drop-offs. And so she had a really great setup going on. And she was working in a job that she had really great access to overtime. If she needed to ever be like, oh, we want to go on a trip, or, my daughter needs something. So she had the ability to increase her income pretty easily. She just had to pick up more hours. And since her parents were happy and willing to help with childcare, that she always had that available to her. And she was like, I don't understand how I make all this money, but I always feel broke. And I was like, well, let's look at it. Once we actually looked at where her money went for the previous 90 days, it turned out she was using cash all the time. She was like, oh yeah, I go to the ATM and I pull $200 out. And I was like, okay, well, how many times a week are you doing that? She was like, I didn't realize it, but I'm doing that 2 or 3 times a week. And I said, well, where's the money going? She was like, I have no idea. And I was like, aha, that's why you don't know why you are making money, but you don't know where it is. You're using too much cash. Now, I know cash envelopes are all the rage, but cash doesn't leave a paper trail. So if you are trying to figure out where your money is and isn't going, you might consider going on a cash diet where actually for 1 month, and not for the rest of your life, not for the next 10 years, not even for 6 months, but for 1 month, you say, I'm not using any cash because I want to be able to pull the record from my bank account, from my Venmo feed, from my Cash app in order to actually see where my money went and where it didn't go. We put her on that cash diet and immediately she had more money because now she wasn't just giving $20 here, $10 here, $5 here. She actually saw where her money was going and could make adjustments accordingly. And from there, when we calculated her magic number and we allocated certain amounts of money to the things that really matter to her, she was like, I really like shopping at the local businesses in my town. So that's why I carry so much cash. I said, okay, that's fine, but you just can't be going to pull out of the ATM 2-3 times a week. If you're going to be able to, if you're going to hold cash, we're going to set a number that you hold cash. So that way you're not overspending without even realizing it. The other piece that we did is when we looked at her essentials, she was like, I also realized I'm giving a lot of money to my parents. They help me out so much with my daughter. And so whenever they say, oh, grab this from the store, I just pay for it. Or if I try to do some nice stuff for my mom or for my dad, or if I notice something needs to be replaced, I just go buy it for them, right? And I was like, that's wonderful. That's a beautiful way to help your parents, especially since they're helping you with childcare. And that is what allows you to work as much as you think you need to. Is there a different way that we can put money in your parents' pocket so that you can keep a budget? And she was like, well, yeah, what I could do is I suggested to her, what if you took over one of their bills? I was like, is there a bill that your mom or your dad complains about? Like, the light bill came in high again. And she was like, actually, it is a light bill. And I was like, well, what if you tell them you'll cover that bill going forward? And that way you are helping, you are contributing, you are supporting that household, but in a way where it's reliable, it's on a schedule, you know about how much it will be, so that way you can plan for it. And she talked to her mom, and it turned out that there was another way that was going to work, but they all felt really great, right? Like she was helping her parents, their parents were helping her, and so it was a way to do that still helped her budget work. So as we close out the first session, there's a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind as you're thinking the magic number. If you're recovering from poverty or any type of financial hardship, there's 3 things you're going to have to plan for. And people don't always think about this, is when you're changing your money around, you can't just think about the past, right? Like maybe you picked up some debt for whatever reason. Maybe you are helping family members, right? So that's kind of your past obligations. You can't only worry about that. And you can't spend all your time in the future either. Well, like when this gets better, when I make more money, when I finish school, when I have some money saved. Because if you don't also take care of yourself in the meantime, if you don't build in a little bit of joy or pleasure or ease, your body might not trust that all the things you're doing to get your money to a better place will actually get you there. So as you're making your magic number, pay attention to the past. What are the debts you want to pay back? Who are the people in your life that you want to support, that you want to be helpful towards? Think about the future. What do you want it to look like a year from now? How much do you want to have saved? How much do you want to have invested? How do you want to be able to react when an emergency or unexpected thing comes up? But also pay attention to your present. Is there anything in your life right now that's actually being starved? Do you need more time or more energy or more money in one part of your budget to make things just go a little easier? Because if you can build in a little bit of ease and joy, the path to getting to the better place is much, much, much easier and a lot more sustainable. So take care of yourself now. Okay. So that is the first session of How to Afford Everything 101. Remember that we are following this How to Afford Everything. And so today's lesson is covered in chapter 1. If you don't have the book, you can still participate. Simply sign on, look for these class sessions, which will be pinned to my story, And you can always get free downloads, not of the book. I mean, like, you got to buy something. I'm giving you the free class. I'm giving you the free worksheets. Like, buy something. At darlabishop.com/101 or howtoaffordeverything.com/resources. Thanks to everyone who were able to join live. Sorry about that little break when I pushed the wrong button. We'll see if it goes smoother next week. And I wish you the best. Have a fantastic weekend and happy February.